Hey, it's Cassidy at the Poets Corner here with another author interview. And today I'm excited to be speaking with author Spiffie Tiffie as we discuss her romance suspense book, Tapotement. So, how you doing, girl?
I am so grateful to be here with you. So thank you so much. I'm excited.
Yay, sweet. Me too. So, I'm going to get right into the questions. Where are you from?
I am from the Pensacola, Florida. So I've been on the Panhandle pretty much all my life. So I live where people vacation.
Oh my gosh, no way. I actually went to college in Pensacola, Florida. Yeah, I did. I was there for like 2 years and then I got sent home because of COVID and then finished the rest online. But yeah, oh my gosh, the Pensacola beaches are the best part about living there for me at least. I love the beaches.
You know what's funny is I don't like the beach. I don't like the sand. I know it's not, everyone's like, "What?" I don't like the sand and I do not like salt water, but I love our rivers. Fresh water and shade, that's my jam.
Oh, that's so great. And the weather's pretty nice there too for the most part. So
Yeah.
nice. What first sparked your love for writing?
Um, I've actually kind of always been like a daydreamer. I remember like in elementary school or really school in general, I would always get in trouble for daydreaming. Like I wasn't paying attention in class. And I just always had like these just thoughts in my brain, but I never really put them on paper until I started writing to Potement. Well, I say that, but I remembered when I was preparing for this that I wrote a book when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I had one of like my elementary school teachers. She had this awesome project, and I remember being really excited about it. Like we illustrated the whole thing. The books were like made. I actually ended up looking on my bookshelf to see if I still had it, and I did. I do have it. So that was nice. It
Aw.
took me down like memory lane. It's like, how do you forget that you wrote a book when you're a kid? I don't know, but I did. So I think it's just always been a thing. Now that I've written a book, I can't believe that I've never did it before. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's so great. I love that. Well, especially when you're younger and you find that passion so early, it's just like
Mhm.
it's so exciting and you kind of like know what you're meant to do and know your purpose is to write?
Yeah, exactly.
Great. So what are some of your favorite books?
I love J.R. Ward, like her Black Dagger Brotherhood series is my all-time. I've reread those books like a billion times, and there's like 18, and there actually might be more at this point because I haven't like followed in the last couple years, but I love those books. And Karen Marie Moning, she has a Dark Fever series. That is a phenomenal series. And I also like survival books. Like I remember always loving Brian's Winter, and there's also The Hatchet. That was a really good one. I love those ones. And then self-help books. I love self-help. I'm all about
Yeah.
self-care and self-awareness and mindfulness and all those good things. So self-help books are those are great too.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite one or a favorite
Um,
like self-help writer?
right now I'm really into Jordan Peterson.
Oh,
He he's got some really great insight and it's just really helpful. And I don't know if you've ever watched any of his stuff, like he does clips and it's just he's just got really, really great advice for anyone that struggles with like mental issues like depression, anxiety, just trying to how to cope with all of that. I love it.
yeah. Oh, that's great. My husband actually really likes Jordan Peterson, and I had never like heard of him before or watched any of his stuff, and he got me into him. So I totally see the appeal there. So tell me more about your pen name, Spiffy Tiffy, and how you came up with it.
Okay. So this was like back when MySpace was a thing. Um,
Okay.
uh when like you had your name, like it wasn't like it is now with like Facebook. Usually people have like their first and last names.
Yeah.
MySpace wasn't like that. Like you would have like your first name sometimes, but a lot of people just had like silly names or made up names or some kind of like little slogan or something. And of course, like I didn't want to just have Tiffany there. So like my nickname's Tiffy. So Spiffy Tiffy just kind of came to my mind, and Spiffy spelled with an IE and Tiffy spelled with an IE. My name is actually spelled with an IE instead of the traditional Y. So
Oh,
it just worked perfectly and it's just stuck for decades now. Like I have a sticker on my car. It says Spiffy Tiffy. Like it just stuck. And when I wrote my book, I just knew that's going to be my pen name. So,
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So when you're not writing, what are you doing?
well, I am a full-time massage therapist.
Oh,
And I
awesome.
have a family. I have a 13-year-old son, and I have an amazing husband, and we have a couple dogs. So we spend a lot of time together, and we're gamers. So each of us, we have like our own gamer stations, and
Oh,
we
that
spend a
is so
lot of time. We love camping and biking and just like being out in nature. So
cool.
that's usually, if we're not like at work, that's what we're doing.
Oh, family goals. That is so cool. So does your husband also like writing and reading, like the arts? No. That's
Not at all. No. In fact, like when I wrote my book and whatnot, I was like, "So you're gonna read it?" And he was like, "You can read it to me." So I did. Like it would actually be like our kind of our thing. Like at night, we were just like chilling, about to go to bed. Like I'd read a couple chapters, and so that
oh,
was fun actually to read to. And I was nervous because with my book, with it being romance, there are spicy scenes, so I was kind of like timid to like read those. But it was fun. We had fun with it.
oh, that's really great. Tell me about your book, Tapotement.
All right. Tapotement, it's romance suspense. The main character, her name's Jay, and she's actually a massage therapist too. The word tapotement is a real life massage technique, and it's basically like rapid, repetitive striking. And it's fun because, like in the book, Jay actually describes her heartbeat doing tapotement when she meets the male main character, Reed.
Oh,
Um, so that was kind of like a little fun little thing that I added in there.
love it.
And yeah, so she's had a difficult past as far as her ex. So she's kind of cautious and on edge. There was abuse in that relationship. So she's just very like I said, cautious about things. So she owns her own massage parlor and she wants a security system installed. So that's where Reed comes in. She hires the security company to come in and install the cameras and she meets him. And right off the bat, it's like instant connection. She's attracted to him and she's nervous about like talking with him and stuff. And as they're talking, she gets distracted and she actually burns her hand really badly on some coffee and he ends up having to take her to the hospital. So right from that point on, like they are inseparable.
Mm,
But it kind of takes a turn because he has to leave town all of a sudden, and he doesn't really give her any clear cut answers as to why he's leaving. He says that it's about work, but it's not about his security company work. So she's just confused and not really understanding why he's not giving her any details as to why he's leaving town.
yeah.
And on one of the trips that he's out of town, her ex just so happens to show up and causes some drama and actually puts her life in danger.
Oh
And
my,
then when Reed does come back in town, more of the secrets are revealed about what he's doing. And it really just kind of flips her world upside down. She feels like betrayed and confused and all of these things as to, whoa, this is what this guy's doing.
yeah.
And after some time, though, she realizes that how much he cares about her and how much he wants to just protect her and maybe even kill for her.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Wow, this sounds like so crazy. Like it's got the romance, it's got like, yeah, the thrill and suspense and like the mystery of like what's gonna happen next. Sounds really
Mhm.
good.
Thanks.
What came to you first, the story or the plot, and why?
Honestly, it was neither. I had no idea where the story was going to go. I just had this idea that I mean, I've always wanted to write a book. And so I've always heard that you should write what you know.
Mhm.
And as being a massage therapist, I integrated that right off the bat in my book because Jay's actually performing a massage. So that's how the chapter is pretty much opened up. And
Yeah.
then from that point, I mean, that's what I do on the daily. And so just started writing that. And then it just kind of happened. Like it wouldn't stop. Like I just kept writing and writing. And considering I do work full time and I have a family, it was actually really hard to find time to write. So there were plenty of times where I would be in a session doing a massage and a great scene would come to my mind and I would just replay it over and over and over in my mind so I didn't lose it. And
Yeah.
then when I did finish my session, I would like go and write it down really quick so I wouldn't lose it.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where I kind of like, I thought to myself, if I was watching a movie, what would I want to happen next? And
Yeah.
that's how I wrote it.
Oh, that is so cool. So you didn't use an outline. You just
Oh,
went for it.
I just wung it, which
Yeah.
is what I do in my everyday life. I just wing it.
So, how long did it take for you to write and publish your book then?
To write it, it took about 2 years. And
Wow.
it was tough because, like, even while I was writing it, I still had a lot of doubts. Like, I thought, what am I doing? Like, is this going to be anything? Is this like basically good? It was really just me, like internal self doubt that I overcame because I was like, I have to stop thinking like that. That's just not like a healthy place to be.
Yeah.
So I just started encouraging myself. And then from that point, I just ran with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then finding the time, of course, like I said, I mean, it was tough to work full time and then have a family. Like there would be plenty of times where everyone, like my son, my husband, they would be asleep, and I would just stay up writing, and then I would go to work. So there were a lot of sleepless nights, but I was determined. I wanted to do it, so that's what I did.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's great. Yeah, especially because it's something you really wanted to do. And, writing a book is not easy. Like, it is not, it is so much. There's so many different steps. It's a process and
Yes.
it takes time. And I'm currently rewriting my first book that I published right now. And it's hard to stay motivated when you're looking at the same thing every single day and you're just like, trying to beef it up and just do right by your story. And so you being persistent, and oh my gosh, 2 years, girl, that's a lot of commitment. And congrats on publishing it, going through with it. It's really
Thank you
amazing.
so much. I
Yeah,
appreciate
for reals.
that.
So I understand that you're a huge fan of the Office TV series, and one of your main characters was inspired by a character in the show. So tell me more about that.
Yes, I love The Office. I've probably watched like every episode a billion times. I could probably just tell you word from word some of them. I just love it. I love the humor. It's a great show.
It
If
is.
you know, you know. You know what I mean? While I watched the show, I didn't even have an idea about Tapotement at the time of watching it. But one of the actors in the show, his name's John Krasinski. I watched him in a show that he did. It's called Jack Ryan. And when
Oh,
I watched that show, I was like, that's when Reed Crane came to my mind. I was like, that's going to be my main character because there is like military type stuff in my book. And I got a lot of inspiration from that for sure.
yeah.
And he's very attractive. So
Yeah, I mean,
that
that's a
helps.
great person to base to base a
Yeah.
character on. I totally agree. So I understand you also have a growing TikTok account where you'll post author updates, character blurbs, and all about your book. So tell me more about that.
Yes, I'm kind of honestly all over the place when I post. I just like to be myself. I don't want it to put myself in a box on like what I actually share, the content that I share.
Yeah.
So one day I'll post about my book, and the next day I'm posting about, I don't know, some wine that I recommend. I'm just free for all, which is what's so wonderful about that app is you can do that. It's like the coolest thing. I love it. And so many, like, well, even you, that's how I met you. And so it's really great.
Yes, and there's a huge author community over on
Yeah.
TikTok, and I love that you can just meet so many like-minded people, and it's a really great platform also to just like promote yourself and your book and find your people, find your audience. And I really like that too, like you were saying that you can post about anything. And one of my favorite things about reading a lot is also like connecting with other authors and like even simple things like you said, wine recommendations, like just learning more about the author helps you understand their book too. And it's kind of like a lens in which you can, see them in a different perspective. I really
Yeah.
like that.
I do too. And it's cool because a lot of it's been a learning curve for me, but to realize there are so many options as far as book covers and book editing and none of those things that I didn't knew nothing about prior. So now that I know that for any future books that I do, it's like the sky's the limit. There's just so many options, and it's just great to finally have that information and be aware of it.
Oh my gosh, yes. And the wealth of information on there is insane, from programs you can use for editing and writing, and even just like connecting with people who are cover designers or editors, like just stuff like that. Like it's
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I've learned so much since being on TikTok. So I first published in 2018 my debut novel, Picture Perfect. It's a YA novel. And I first published it in 2018, I was on Instagram, and I was like trying to get in the Bookstagram community. And then this past year in October 2022, when I self-published my short story, I sold way more books over on TikTok. Like after joining on TikTok, I found like my community right away, and no shame to Instagram. Like I know it's really great too, but for like the author community specifically, TikTok has been a game changer.
I agree. Totally. Yep.
Sweet. So what other ways can we follow along with your writing journey?
Well, so I do have, let's talk about Instagram. It's Spiffy Tiffie author on Instagram. And then there's Facebook too, where it's Spiffy Tiffie there. I'm a lot more familiar and comfortable with Facebook rather than Instagram. I honestly, sometimes, I don't know, I don't feel like that's my vibe all the time. I'm there, but it's like, yeah, it's just not really my thing, but
I
I
get
have it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. So what is your favorite part about being an indie author?
Really, I would say it's being able to create something for readers. Like I'm a reader myself, so I know how wonderful it is to just escape reality,
Yeah.
lose yourself in this made up story and just be consumed by it. And I love being able to give that to readers. It just makes my author heart happy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so well said. I love it. So what is in store for the future? Any new goals or writing related projects that you're currently working on?
Yes. Oh, I have my second book will be, well, I don't know if it'll be my second book necessarily, but I do have a book that I'm working on. It's called Effleurage, which actually is an interconnected book to Tapotement.
Oh,
And Effleurage will be about Mandy, which is Jay's best friend. And you meet her and then her relationship with this guy named Dane, and you'll meet those characters into Tapotement. And so it, like I said, it just goes on into Mandy's story and how everything unfolds with her.
oh, nice. Oh my gosh, I love books like that. So it's like continuing the story, but with different characters.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
exactly. And my thoughts are there actually in total there will be 5 books. They will all be interconnected. Tapotement being the first one, because there's basically 5 really strong characters that you meet throughout the entire books. And so each one of those guys will eventually get their own book. So, and that I feel like that really does, that inspiration came from me reading Black Dagger series because each character that you meet, they like get their own book. And
Yeah.
so that anticipation of what's going to happen, the pieces of what transpires, but to get like the full story when their book comes out, like I love that so much. And that's why I wanted to kind of create that too.
Yeah, well, and that seems like a really great writing project too, because you're stretching your perspective and writing different characters and being different people and, from their
Yeah.
point of views. That sounds like
Yeah.
such a cool
Yeah.
project that you're working on.
Thanks. And there's another one I'm working on too. I have this, you know what gauges are, like the gauges in ears. So I recently, I have this infatuation with them. And I wanted to find a book where the male main character had gauges. It was just like a little kink for me. And I could not find anything. I could not find a book where the guy had them. So I was like, well, screw it. I'm going to write my own. And so I am. And it's called Gauges. So I'm excited about that one too. And it's going to be a dark romance, which is new territory for me. But it's going pretty good.
Nice,
I'm
sweet.
excited about it.
So you're working on both of those at the same time then?
Yes.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know.
It was
It's
so
freaking
gross.
nuts. It's nuts, but it's also thrilling, and I love it. It's just like when I get in that zone, it's like, don't talk to me. Don't. I'm writing.
Oh yeah, in the writing zone for sure.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Do you have like an estimated time that you're gonna try to come out with them, or they're still in the beginning stages?
I would hope that I could get them done this like year 2023, but at the same time, I don't want to put deadlines on it because I know me and I know that I'll start panicking and my anxiety will take over and then I'll feel flustered and I don't want to rush anything. Like I want it to be therapeutic and just
Yeah, for sure.
happen. So I'm just winging it. Like I said, I wing things.
Oh, I love it. Well, I will be definitely looking out for updated blurbs, any excerpts you put out, because yeah, they both sound really great.
Thanks.
So that was pretty much all the questions I had for you today. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or do you have any closing words?
Yeah, sure. I would want to maybe say something to someone who's trying to accomplish something, whether that's writing a book or training for a marathon. Don't give up on yourself. Keep going, keep trying, overcome the obstacles, learn from your mistakes, and just keep going until you get to where you want to be because your future self is going to be so proud if you do.
For sure. Well said. I love it so much. And you have so much to be proud of too. I'm so excited for you and your book. I actually got it, so I can't wait to read it.
Thank you. Thank you so
Tapotement.
much for that. I appreciate you.
Yes, of course. I'm gonna read it next month. It will be on my May TBR. I'm so excited to read it. And yeah, just to follow along with your writing journey. And guys, if you want to check out her book, Tapotement, I'm going to have the link in the description as well as all your social media pages. So you guys can follow her on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. So thank you so much again. And I love talking with you, Tiffany.
Yes, me too. This was great. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate you.
Of course. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.